seemed like an hour. I'm just kidding.
Bore you to death.
It seemed longer. Didn't seem like it seemed
Felt like
longer.
5 minutes.
All right, Diana, we're ready for you.
Okay, so my presentation is much more focused on the annotated videography I do for the assignment of this course. It's not much like Karen's. My focus is on ESL teacher education, and I would like specifically focus on ESL teacher preparation. And I just said, before I do the literature review on this, I think this is really a very interesting topic. But when I start reading the literature review and the previous study on this, I really find it's very frustrating. Because firstly, I got a lot of numbers here. It's about, I like to summarize like the increasing number of those ESL students and the very lack of the well-prepared ESL teachers. So there are more than 5 million school-age English language learners in the United States. So 5 million is really a great number. And this population has actually increased by about 57% during the last decade.
Wow.
Just can imagine.
Wow.
And this sharp increase really draw teacher educators and school administrators' attention on how to prepare the pre-service teachers across all the domains and content areas to address the needs of those ESL learners, students. And it is projected that by 2025, 1 in 4 students in the U.S. will be from language minority families. But unfortunately, there is no lack of criticism of the teacher preparation. So that is the most frustrated part I find in this research area. And it is consistently documented that the recent teacher education program, they did not provide adequate preparation to teacher candidates from the classroom diversities. And I was worked with the other 2 grad students from my department, and they are all, the teacher education program. They are grad students, and they are all in the math background. When I prepare for this PowerPoint slides and we talk to each other, and they just keep talking how prepared they are for working with the ESL students. And I ask them, so you are in this program and you are about to graduate, you are supported by the curriculum designed for your well preparation in your future career, and why you still feel not prepared? They just say, I don't know. I just not well prepared. I don't know why I'm not well prepared, and I don't know the reason, and I don't know how in what aspects I improved. I just have no idea. Nobody guided me, even during my internship. So, and actually I think that part might be my potential research area. And literatures on the research preparation for the teaching diverse students shows that there are really few changes in the last 25 years on how teachers are being prepared to address the needs of the ELLs. So our ESL population are growing, and the diversity is growing, but our teacher preparation and the curriculum and our support hasn't been changed for so many years. So that is a problem. And for my annotated bibliography, actually I synthesized all the literature reviews and I divided into several categories. And the first category I would like to mention is really the big names and the most recent perspectives on the ESL preparation. So the Darling Hammond, this is a big person in the field of teacher education. And this is the name I really need to mention for our number 1 to make my presentation more professional, to mention these big names at first. And in her book, it's Preparing Teachers for a Changing World. There is a chapter, which is, I think, Teaching Diverse Learners. This chapter, there are some points related to the ESL teacher preparation. actually, this chapter is a combination with the ESL teacher preparation and the special education teacher education. So it's a little bit combined together. But I just pull out those points related to my topic. The first opinion is that no matter you are the new teacher or you are the veterans, you are facing the same new challenges because of the globalization, because of growing ESL teachers. Just like Corinne just mentioned in her presentation, today's education is not the same as we were at school. So they are actually facing the new challenges. That means the EU preparation not only happened to those pre-service teachers, as well as those in-service teachers and even the veterans. And actually, before the decades, years ago, all those ESL students, they are placed with those special education students. The students, they need special needs. Because we don't have very specific program, we don't have enough ESL teachers, they're just a group with those special students. We know that nowadays, we know that it's not appropriate, it's not fair. We can't just, break their education equality, but we did that before. And now, since we have improved the situation and these students, we're going to just support them out of those wrong classrooms. We're just want to put them in the regular classrooms and let those students to just experience the same education opportunities as the regular students. But the teachers in the regular classroom, they are not well prepared for these diverse students with diverse backgrounds. And also the culturally responsive practice is one big idea mentioned by Darlingham in his book, which says that the culturally responsive practice will broaden your teaching strategies actually, and it will help the teachers to meet academic challenge and responsive to students. So that is the big ideas from Darlingham in her book. And the other big person is Deborah Ball. This big person, actually Deborah Ball is a math teacher. Yeah, before he just, she concentrates on teacher education. And the high leverage practices is a very new perspective. She just pointed out these years. Actually, there are 19 standards under this practice, but I just take out some points which is related to the ESL teacher preparation. So the first one is that making content explicit through explanation, modeling, representations, and examples. So what I'd like to just put a little bit more is about the modeling and examples. I did one of the projects with the pre-service teachers here in the Department of Curriculum Instruction. And they are all the pre-service teachers in the content area of science and math. And they have never worked with the ESL students. And in one of our teaching sessions, we just want to let them experience how it looks like if you are English language learners in a classroom. As a foreign language learner in a classroom. So one of my colleagues, she knows how to speak Spanish. So she just taught those students math. And they're supposed to finish a math problem. But this problem is all written in Spanish, and the teacher is speaking Spanish, and just let them do this problem. And the situation is that the math students, they have got some hint of how to do the math problem. So they kind of know what they are going to do for the instruction. But the science students, they have no idea. They have no idea, totally no idea what the teacher was talking about. And at the second time, we taught the same problem, but we use modeling, we use examples, we use drawings, and we use, kind of playing action behavior to let them understand what the problem is. And they have got some idea of what they are going to do. So this teaching session experience let me know that modeling and examples and let us even let the pre-service teachers know that modeling and examples are very important strategies to teach the ESL students. And actually they build up their empathy to those ESL students during these two, from these two teaching session experience. And leading a whole class discussion. Why I put out this point relate to ESL teacher preparation is because a lot of, according to previous research, a lot of ESL students, they are physically included in the same classroom, but actually they are mentally excluding. They are not including in a whole class discussion. They're just doing what they want, and the teacher won't just care about them. That is the situation. And eliciting and bringing individual student thinking, the teachers, no matter what content area you are, you need to take care of those ESL students thinking. And setting up and managing small group work. So the small group work is really a very interesting part, because a lot of studies I read, they talk about the small group work. For most of the time, they are a mix of the English native speaker students and those English learners. And they build up very good relationship. And they just kind of have very friendly peer conversation on what they are working on. So the small group work sometimes might help those underprepared ESL teachers to teach those ESL students. And engaging in strategic relationship build conversations with students. You know, we know that a very good rapport with your students is the first step of your successful teaching practice. And appraising, choosing, and modifying tasks and tasks for a specific learning goal. Sometimes we need to modify your teaching materials based on students' different cultural background. For example, when you teach the students from the South, if you are teaching in the context of snow, snowstorm, things like that, they might have no idea of what it exactly is. And for example, when you teach the students who has got the kind of very specific religious background, you may think about their taboos. So sometimes you need to modify your teaching materials and let them understand what you're going to teach. And selecting and using particular methods to check understanding and monitor student learning. So if you have got a student which has very low English proficiency in your class, how are you going to check their understanding? So you need to think about some specific way. And communicating about students with a parent or guardian, that is very important, because a lot of immigrant families, they don't speak English at home. And actually the teachers feel very difficult to contact to the parents who, you know, don't speak any English. They need an interpreter. But if the school, which is from very small school district and don't have ESL teachers and they don't have the interpreters, it may just disconnect the relationship between the teachers and those parents. That is very horrible. If for the long term, it's very horrible. And the next one is teacher education training program. That is other categories I like to refer here. A lot of previous research, they are kind of report how a specific kind of training program work. The process, their samples, and not all of them, but most of them, they will do a pre-survey, midterm survey, post-survey, and sometimes just they do the quality part as the interview and observational data to check how this program work. And
Descriptive. The
teacher, educators, the mentors, and the pre-service students, what do they think about this training program? And I just think of one of the study. The program mentioned in this study is the language development in the context of the disciplines, which is LDCD, this program. And in this program, the teachers, participants of this program, they are from different content areas. But they are in the same program. That means this program, it can train teachers all across different disciplines. They are not trained specifically for the math or the science. They just, mix all the teachers from different content areas together.